In the quiet hum of a crowded room, a man enters. He doesn't announce himself, doesn't demand attention, yet the air shifts. Eyes flicker toward him, conversations falter, and an unspoken question lingers. Who is he? He's not loud like the alpha, nor eager like the beta. He's something else, a sigma man. His presence is a riddle, his silence a challenge. For many women, this man stirs a storm of emotions. Intrigue, frustration, even resentment. Why? Because he defies the rules of the game they've been taught to play. He doesn't chase, doesn't flatter, doesn't bend. And that defiance, that unshakable independence, unsettles them in ways they can't immediately grasp. At first, this man feels like a wall, unreadable, untouchable, unattainable. But as time passes, what seemed like cold indifference transforms into something magnetic, something unforgettable. Today we'll unravel the 6 reasons why women might push back against a sigma man at the outset, and why those same reasons keep him echoing in their minds long after he's gone. Stay with me because by the end, you'll see relationships in a new light, as if a veil has been lifted from the dance of human connection. Reason 1, he doesn't chase and it feels like rejection. She's used to the rhythm of attraction. A glance, a smile, a spark followed by pursuit. When she meets a man, she expects him to make a move, to send a text, to show he's captivated. But with the sigma man, the script flips. He meets her gaze, perhaps offers a fleeting smile, but then, nothing. No flirty message, no eager follow-up, no attempt to win her over. He's present, yet distant, like a star that's visible but unreachable. This silence is jarring. In a world where men often rush to impress, his restraint feels like a slight. She wonders, why isn't he trying? Am I not enough? Her mind, trained to interpret signals, searches for meaning in his inaction. But the sigma man doesn't play the game of pursuit. He doesn't chase because he doesn't need to. For him, connection isn't a performance. It's a feeling, a mutual resonance that either exists or doesn't. If it's not there, he won't force it. He won't chase someone just to fill a void or stroke his ego. This absence of pursuit creates a void in her. She's used to being sought after, to men bending over backward to prove their interest. But the sigma man's indifference, real or perceived, plants a seed of doubt. It's not rejection in the traditional sense. It's something deeper, more unsettling. It's the realization that she hasn't entered his world, that she hasn't touched the core of him. And that realization lingers, turning what felt like dismissal into a quiet obsession. Why does he stand out? Why does his silence feel louder than anyone else's words? As days pass, she finds herself replaying their encounter, searching for clues. The man who didn't chase her has, without trying, claimed a corner of her mind. His refusal to play the game has rewritten the rules, and she's left wondering what it would take to step into his orbit. Reason 2. He vanishes at the first hint of manipulation. The conversation flows smoothly at first. There's a spark, a shared laugh, a moment where the world seems to shrink to just the two of them. But then, something shifts. A subtle jab disguised as a joke, a calculated pause meant to test his reaction, a gesture that seems innocent but carries an ulterior motive. She might not even realize she's doing it, it's just part of the dance she's learned. But he notices. The sigma man always notices. Unlike others who might overlook the hint of manipulation, he doesn't. He's walked too many paths, seen too many patterns to miss the signs. A comment meant to provoke, a question designed to control. These are red flags to him, not invitations to engage. And his response? Not anger, not argument, but absence. His warmth fades, his gaze grows distant, and though his body remains, his spirit has already left the room. She senses the shift immediately, even if she can't name it. The connection that felt so promising moments ago now feels like a mirage. She wonders, what did I do wrong? Why did he pull away? But the sigma man doesn't owe explanations. He doesn't need to win an argument or prove a point. Manipulation, even the smallest hint of it, is a boundary he won't cross. So he steps back, quietly, without drama, leaving no trace except the weight of his absence. This silence stings more than a shouting match. She's used to reactions, anger, pleading, something she can grab onto and navigate. But his withdrawal offers nothing to hold. It's not a slammed door, it's a door left ajar with no invitation to follow. And that ambiguity drives her to question herself. What happened? Was it me? His dignified retreat doesn't wound her pride, it marks her soul. It's a departure that lingers, a memory she revisits, trying to decode the moment she lost him. Reason 3. His honesty cuts like a blade. She asks a question, expecting a gentle answer, something softened by tact or flattery. Instead, she gets the truth, Raw, unfiltered, unapologetic. The Sigma man doesn't sugarcoat his words or wrap them in pleasantries. He speaks what he sees, what he feels, without bending to the expectations of politeness. In a world of half-truths and white lies, his honesty is a shockwave. At first it feels like cruelty. His words land like a blade, cutting through the armor of social niceties she's used to. Why couldn't he just say it nicely? She thinks, stung by his bluntness. But the Sigma man doesn't speak to wound, he speaks to be real. He'd rather say nothing than offer empty compliments or false promises. His truth is not a weapon, it's a mirror reflecting reality as he sees it. This brutal honesty unsettles her. She's accustomed to men who flatter to please, who adjust their words to keep the peace. But the Sigma man doesn't play that game. If he speaks, it's because he means it. If he's silent, it's because he has nothing to say. And in that silence, she feels exposed, as if her carefully curated facade has been seen through. Yet, as the sting fades, something else emerges: trust. His words, though sharp, carry a rare authenticity. He's not trying to manipulate her, not trying to win her favor. He's simply being himself. And that realization shifts her perspective. The man who made her flinch with his truth becomes the one she respects, because he dared to say what others wouldn't. His honesty, once a source of discomfort, becomes a foundation for connection. One built not on what she wanted to hear but on what she needed to know. Reason 4. Nothing impresses him and it unravels her. She shares a story expecting a reaction, a gasp, a laugh, a nod of approval. She's used to men who amplify their responses, who offer praise to bridge the gap between them. But the Sigma man? He listens, his eyes steady, his expression calm. He might nod, might offer a quiet comment, but there's no fanfare, no exaggerated awe. His response is measured, grounded in what he truly feels, not what she expects. This restraint feels like a rebuke. In a world where validation is currency, his lack of enthusiasm seems like indifference. Is nothing I do enough? She wonders. She's used to men who applaud her every move, who shower her with attention to win her favor. But the Sigma man doesn't operate on need. He doesn't react to impress or appease. His admiration, when it comes, is earned, not given freely. This dynamic disarms her. She's accustomed to being the center of attention, to men who leap at the chance to praise her. But the Sigma man's calm indifference challenges her sense of self. It's not that he finds her lacking, it's that his approval isn't automatic. He's not swayed by charm or dazzled by performance. He responds only to what resonates with him, and that authenticity is both frustrating and intriguing. When he is impressed, when his calm breaks and his eyes light up, it's a moment that carries weight. It's not a hollow compliment tossed out to please, it's a recognition of something genuine. And that rarity makes it unforgettable. What began as frustration, his refusal to be easily impressed, becomes a pull, a desire to earn his genuine regard. His restraint, once a barrier, becomes a beacon, drawing her closer to a man who values truth over flattery. Reason 5. He's an emotional enigma. She watches him, searching for clues. A raised brow, a fleeting smile, a shift in posture, anything to reveal what he's thinking, feeling, wanting. But the Sigma man is a locked vault. His face is calm, his movements deliberate, his emotions hidden unless he chooses to share them. He's not cold, not distant, but he's guarded, revealing only what he deems necessary. This opacity unsettles her. Most people are open books, their feelings spilling out in gestures, expressions, words. But the Sigma man is different. His inner world is a fortress accessible only on his terms. She feels like she's playing a game with no rulebook, laying her cards on the table while he holds his close. Is he judging me? Is he interested? Or is he just here? The uncertainty gnaws at her, making her feel vulnerable in a way she's not used to. This emotional enigma frustrates her at first. She's accustomed to reading people, to navigating relationships with clear signals. But with him there's no map, no guide. His silence, his restraint, feels like a challenge, a puzzle she can't solve. And yet, that same mystery draws her in. The human heart craves what it can't fully grasp, and the Sigma man, without trying, becomes a question she longs to answer. As she grapples with his unreadable nature, she begins to see it not as coldness, but as depth. His guardedness isn't a rejection. It's a reflection of a man who doesn't need to broadcast his feelings to feel secure in them. And that realization shifts her frustration into fascination. The man who seemed distant becomes a mystery she wants to unravel, a story she wants to understand. Reason 6. His compliments are rare but they resonate. She waits for a compliment, a word about her smile, her wit, her presence. She's used to men who offer praise like confetti, scattering it to break down barriers. But the Sigma man is silent. He listens, he observes, but he doesn't speak, not yet. His words, when they come, are not automatic, not rehearsed. They're deliberate, precise, and rare. The silence feels like a void. She's accustomed to compliments that flow easily, that smooth the path to connection. But the Sigma man doesn't flatter to please. He doesn't toss out praise to win her over. For him, a compliment is not a tool, it's a truth, earned and meaningful. If he says nothing, it's because he sees nothing worth saying. And that absence stings, making her question her own worth. At first, she misreads his silence as disinterest. Does he not see me? Does he not care? But the truth is simpler and more profound. His words carry weight because they're rare. When he finally speaks, a quiet observation, a brief acknowledgement, it hits differently. It's not a generic "you're beautiful" or a cliched "you're amazing." It's specific, rooted in something real, something he's noticed that others overlooked. That moment when his compliment lands is electric. It's not just words, it's recognition, a glimpse into his guarded world. And because it's rare, because it's real, it lingers. She carries it with her, replaying it, savoring it. The Sigma man doesn't give compliments. He creates moments, and those moments become memories she can't shake. Reflection, the paradox of the Sigma man. Now you see it, the paradox of the Sigma man. What women initially resist in him isn't arrogance or coldness, it's freedom. It's the quiet strength of a man who doesn't need validation, who doesn't bend to expectations, who lives on his own terms. In a world obsessed with pleasing, fitting in, and performing, his authenticity is both a challenge and a magnet. He doesn't chase, and it feels like rejection, until it sparks desire. He vanishes at the hint of manipulation, leaving questions that linger like echoes. His honesty cuts, but it builds trust. His restraint disarms, but it earns respect. His enigma frustrates, but it captivates. His rare compliments don't flatter, they resonate, leaving marks that don't fade. The Sigma man doesn't seek to be unforgettable, but he is. He doesn't try to stand out, yet he does. He doesn't adapt to the world's rules, he redefines them. And in that redefinition, he leaves an imprint, a quiet revolution in the hearts of those who cross his path. If this story stirred something in you, if it made you see the dance of connection in a new light, don't stop here. Dive deeper, explore more, and keep seeking the truths that challenge and change you. The next chapter is waiting. If you liked it, subscribe to dive into the heart of the dilemmas at stake. If this sounds like you, write, "My worth is beyond question."